Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the podcast where we tackle, well, big topics, tiny topics, and sometimes topics so small they could practically fit into a single classroom. Today's feature, that's Yanagidani Elementary School. It just reopened after a whole year of silence for exactly one student. Yep, little Nozomi Fujioka. She's basically the VIP of the entire district now, running student councils, sports day, graduation, all by herself, I guess. You know, some kids dream of being class president. Yep. She is the class, so stick around. Only here do we turn a story about rural school survival into, well, maybe not comedy, but definitely a fascinating look at community spirit. And hey, while you're listening, maybe subscribe to the Deep Dive. Don't leave us feeling lonelier than Nozomi's homeroom roll call. Also need to give a shout out to our producer, FireflyHaku. Seriously, like a one-person IT department, editor, snack provider. They keep this whole circus running. So yeah, sign up. Spread the word. Maybe next year we'll have at least 2 people listening. I mean, in attendance. Okay, let's get into this. Let's unpack this amazing story. We're heading over to the Yanagidani district.
That's part of Kumakogan town in Ehime Prefecture, Japan. Picture this. Beautiful place. Lots of nature, mountains, forests, but facing some modern challenges. Population, only about 540 people. Tiny. And that's the setting for this school's story.
Yeah, it's a really compelling backdrop. And the school's journey itself, it tells you a lot. Yanagidani Elementary, it wasn't always just this one school. It was actually formed back in 2005. They merged 2 other local schools, Yanagidani and Nishiya.
Oh, so even back then, numbers were an issue.
Exactly. It was already a response to, declining student numbers way back then, but the trend just, it continued. Since 2019, the numbers kept going down pretty steadily, and that finally led to the school having to close its doors entirely last year. Not a single student enrolled. It was just silent.
Wow. And that's not just happening there, right? I mean, you hear about this across rural Japan.
Not at all, no. This really plugs into a much bigger picture. It's a huge challenge all across Japan, driven mostly by the aging population and, well, low birth rate everyone talks about. Young people tend to move to cities for school, for jobs.
Leaving these rural areas emptier.
Precisely. Fewer families mean fewer kids. Just look at Ehime Prefecture, where Yanagidani is. In the last 10 years alone, something like 44 elementary schools have either closed down or, stopped operating because there just aren't enough students.
44.
In one prefecture.
In just one prefecture, yeah. So finding students, keeping schools open, it's a massive issue for these regions. Yanagidani is really like a small example, a microcosm of this much bigger struggle facing rural communities everywhere in Japan.
Okay, so that sets the scene. A common problem, but then Yanagidani takes this really interesting term. The school reopens. For Reiwa 6, the 2024 school year, for one single first grader, Nozomi Fujioka. Can you imagine being her, the only kid?
It's pretty unique.
Apparently, when they asked her about it, she was just purely excited, no worries at all. She said she believes she can make friends anywhere. What a spirit.
That's fantastic. And it kind of leads to the next question, doesn't it? Why this school, especially one that was closed?
Right. Why go to the effort for one child? Well, it really boils down to family and community. Deep, deep ties. Nozomi's dad, Tsuyoshi-san, he was born and raised right there in Yanagidani.
Ah, okay. A local.
Very much so. He went to the school, or at least one of the predecessors. He had this incredibly strong personal connection and just this deep desire to stop it from closing for good. For him, it was more than just a school building.
So it wasn't just like, oh, this is the closest school. It was emotional.
Very much an emotional decision, yeah. But practical, too, in a way. Tsuyoshi-san, he really felt that if the school closed permanently, the whole town would just lose its vitality, its heart.
School was the anchor.
That's a good way to put it. And he also thought about his other kids. Nozomi has 3 younger siblings. If the school wasn't there, eventually they'd all have to go somewhere else for education.
Meaning the family might have to move.
Exactly. They might have had to leave the community they loved. So keeping the school open was about keeping their family rooted there. And, they said they really listened to Nozomi, too. She apparently kept saying things like, Nan-chan really likes it here, Nan-chan being her nickname, and she wants to play here and go to school here.
Oh, that's lovely. So she felt the connection, too.
Seems like it. Maybe picking up on her family's love for the place.
It's a great story of local loyalty. Oh, and just for fun, any idea what she wants to be?
Well, first she said a doctor.
Okay, noble profession.
And then a YouTuber.
Of course, doctor and YouTuber. Why not? Maybe she can vlog about being the only student.
You never know. It shows that even in this unique setting, kids' dreams are still big and very modern.
Totally. And this wasn't just the Fujioka family acting alone.
Yeah.
The whole community stepped up, right?
Oh, absolutely. It became a real rallying point.
I read that just 2 days before her entrance ceremony, Volunteers showed up.
Yeah, loads of them. People from the community, former students.
Yeah.
The Obis, as they call them in Japan.
Old boys and old girls, yeah.
They all came together to clean the entire school building, top to bottom.
Just imagine that. Scrubbing floors, washing windows, making it perfect for one 6-year-old.
It's incredible dedication, isn't it? It really shows what that school represents to them.
A light of hope? I think I saw that phrase used.
That's exactly it. The new principal, Takashi Kawamoto, he used those words. He strongly believes that having children around, hearing their voices, that's essential for revitalizing the community. He said a place without the sounds of children just feels lonely.
That makes sense. It's the sound of the future, isn't it?
It really is. It signifies life, continuity, hope.
So the entrance ceremony itself must have been something else. Not your typical quiet affair, even with only one new student.
Definitely not quiet in spirit. It was a huge community celebration. Lots of people turned out, all excited for this fresh start. They even put up handmade banners all around the district.
Really? Banners?
Yeah, welcoming Nozomi back to the school. It was clearly a very big deal for everyone, a real outpouring of support.
That's amazing. And it's not just symbolic gestures, is it? They're actively trying to bring more people in.
Yes, that's key. It's not just about Nozomi, thankfully. The Yanagidani district actually runs this free relocation tour thing, trying to attract new families.
Like, come see our village, maybe move here.
Exactly. And it's working, slowly. This year, 2 families have already moved in because of it.
Wow, that's concrete progress.
It is. And significantly, one of those families brought another student to the school. A boy named Kuroda Shinkun, who's a 3rd grader.
Ah, so Nozomi isn't alone anymore.
Not entirely alone in the school, no. Which leads to another interesting aspect, her classroom setup.
Right. So her first day was focused on Japanese, reading, and writing.
Yeah.
Standard first-grade stuff. But she's not in a classroom with just other first-graders, obviously.
No, with Kuroda-kun there now, they're using what's called a Fukushiki Gakyu. It's a combined grade classroom system.
Meaning different grades learning together in the same room.
That's right. In this case, Nozomi, the 1st grader, and Kuroda-kun, the 3rd grader, are learning side by side with the same teacher.
Okay, you see that in small rural schools, sometimes out of necessity.
True, it's often born out of necessity because of low numbers. But what's interesting is that this setup can actually have some real educational advantages. It's not just making do.
Advantages? Like what? More attention.
Precisely. That's the big one. With only 2 students, the teacher can give an incredible amount of individualized attention. Nozomi's parents actually pointed this out. They called the education number 1 because of that direct, almost one-on-one interaction.
Yeah, I can see that. No chance of getting lost in the crowd.
Exactly. They felt in a big class a child might get overlooked, but here the teacher knows exactly where each student is, what they need.
Makes sense.
And there's more to it. Research on these combined classrooms shows they can foster independence. Kids often have to work on their own while the teacher helps the other grade level.
Right, learn to manage their own tasks.
Yeah, and it encourages peer teaching, too. The older student might help the younger one.
Reinforcing their own learning in the process.
Exactly. It builds empathy, leadership skills, adaptability. It really turns what looks like a limitation into a potential strength, pedagogically speaking.
So it's a unique environment, but maybe a really positive one for both Nozomi and Kuroda-kun.
It certainly seems that way. A tiny school, maybe, but with a huge amount of community heart and potentially a really focused, supportive education.
It's a fascinating story of resilience, community, and finding unique solutions. Really inspiring stuff. Well, that's about all the time we have for this deep dive. Really appreciate you tuning in with us. Don't forget to share the story if you found it interesting, and definitely return for more deep dives.